Does, at least into the future. Now today 23 degrees, that's what we're expecting, but things get warmer. In fact, that's about as cool as it gets for the next 5 days. Sunshine returned after the cloud cover earlier on this morning, and even a few rain showers, much of that associated with the warm front. Now there's a front there, ahead of it the cloud shield. The cloud shield has now pushed off toward southeastern Ontario, but keep your eye on this line. Again, that's your warm front. Southwest of that, temperatures up to the high 20s and winds are up around 30 degrees. Ahead of that, temperature on the low 20s. So that's the stuff we were in earlier on. This is the stuff that we're going to be in come tomorrow. The forecast into the next 18 hours has us up to 31 degrees, a humidex of 36, but smog advisories now in effect for Toronto as we head in through, and in fact the day after as well. Sunshine continues for the next couple of days, but I'll tell you how long those 30s are going to last in about 20 minutes.
It's as good as Christmas for the service industry. We'll take you behind the scenes of last-minute preps for the film festival and celebrity invasion. Plus, we'll show you a new addition to Orangeville's skyline, an oasis of prayer that's open to all. That's still to come. Well, right now, David Onley must be trying to get used to the idea of being alone. Ontario's Lieutenant Governor has a full-time security detail watching him. A far cry from the life Onley led as a journalist until his swearing-in at Queen's Park today. A moment that, as John McGrath shows you now, was meaningful to many who see David Onley as an inspiration.
Swearing-in ceremonies usually attract the famous and the powerful. But today was also a day for people like Jeff Wilbond.
This is the first Lieutenant Governor General with a physical disability. And I think it's a wonderful demonstration of the diversity that we have in Ontario.
By being there, I'll help to remove a lot of barriers.
And inside, in his speech to the legislature, David Onley didn't disappoint them. He's to use his term as Lieutenant Governor to continue his decades-long fight for better access for people with disabilities.
We are all role models to the person that we help. What I ask you to do today, and what I ask of the people of Ontario, and will be asking over the years, is to do what you can do in terms of accessibility by simply reaching out.
And the new Lieutenant Governor did just that to his predecessor, James Bartleman. He said he was going to join Bartleman in his campaign to literacy among First Nations youth.
And the goal is to see a computer on every single school desk of every First Nations community in Northern Ontario.
David Onley's first official act will occur next Monday, when the Premier asks him the legislature and call the next election. It's a formality, of course, but the Lieutenant Governor joked that he'd reject that request if he really wanted to make history. John McGrath, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, like many people with disabilities, David Onley depends on technology to do some things that many of us take for granted every day. Daryl Kite shows you a group now that's finding ways to make that technology go even further.
Rebecca Bayani is an artist with cerebral palsy. She's been able to create her award-winning paintings with some help from a laser pointer created by the Tetra Society. Rebecca's mom is grateful to the volunteer who helped her daughter express herself.
The fact that she would volunteer her time to come hear our story, things out for us in a way that was economical, that we would be able to continue with, I thought it was magnificent.
Vancouver Mayor Sam Sullivan founded the Tetra Society in 1979 after a skiing accident left him a quadriplegic. Since then, Tetra has completed more than 4,000 projects.
They're unique to each individual. We don't manufacture things that are currently on the market. We don't want to interfere with people's livelihoods.
More than 200 Tetra Society volunteers in more than 40 chapters in Canada and the United States. Most of the time, Tetra pays for the materials and then finds volunteers with expertise to do what the applicants want. Ali Taha is one of those volunteers. He's been working with Tetra for the past 4.5 years. These plans are for a ramp that will help Lieutenant Governor David Onley get on and off his plane with more ease. This is going to be a remote-controlled, all-terrain vehicle for a wheelchair. Ali will spend months working on it, and he says it's worth it.
To say thank you to Canada in general. I came from Iraq. I mean, I'm really lucky to be here, and the simple thing, I can just donate some hours here to the community.
If you're interested in volunteering or having something done by Tetra, you can reach them at society.org. Daryl Kite, CBC News, Toronto.
A watered-down woman suffering from a brain tumor has joined the constitutional challenge against laws governing health care. Like many other Canadians on waiting lists, the mother of two continues to wait for treatment for illness. Shauna Holmes is asking the Ontario government to allow her to access private health care in this province. Right now, she's forced to pay out-of-province travel costs to speed up her treatment.
My husband's taken a second job, full-time job. We mortgaged our home.
Now, Quebec is the only province to allow a two-tier health system. In Chaulis versus Quebec, the court ruled a private sector option must be available to the public if the public system can't provide needed care in a timely way. An issue that could turn out to be the most controversial of the Ontario election campaign, the funding of religious schools. It's a big plank in John Tory's platform, and today he campaigned hard on it. Mike Wise shows you what kind of reaction it's getting.
Good morning. John Tory is my name. I'm the leader of the Are you? Good, nice.
As he canvassed door to door in this Thornhill riding, John Tory heard from both sides of the debate over extending funding to faith-based schools.
My wife, Barbara.
I'm a very big advocate, very big supporter.
I believe we're a secular society.
The PC candidate running in Thornhill says there's no doubt it'll play a key role.
It will make a difference in this riding. In this riding, you've got approximately 40% Jewish makeup. They are not